Three, two, one. Hey there, gang. Welcome to another Sunday night edition of the Missouri Liberty Alliance. It's Sunday, November 21st, 2021. If you don't mind, if you can give us a 5x5, let us know. And also, of course, we're live on Discord right now. Come into Discord. The water is warm. You guys can find the link right down below in the description section. Just look for, in our long list of socials, just look for Discord. And then click on that link and you can come right in here and join us live if you want to. And of course, we'll be monitoring YouTube as well. So I'd like to say hello to Voodoo Queen and Michelle Mamille. So two chiming in so far on YouTube. So hopefully you guys can hear us okay. Let us know if you can hear us okay. 5x5 for Michelle. Awesome. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and start us out. Before we start getting into the Second Amendment stuff and everything, just wanted to talk about a member that we had here in the Alliance, and that was Jen Perry. And Jen Perry had joined us on many live streams before in the past. You guys can go back into the live stream archives on the channel. And but I just want to let you guys know she passed away on Thursday. And so Travis had reported that on the Prepared Homestead, and also he was able to confirm that for me, also independently. I had a feeling something really bad had happened after old DP had reported that she was in the hospital with COVID and she was on a respirator. But it turns out that she did pass away. And I just want to say a few words about Jennifer, because I feel awful about this because she had just moved here from Oregon. She was loving the state of Missouri and everything about what we were doing here. And there was an opportunity that I missed because when she moved here, she spent a few days in Springfield. And normally when people from the Alliance, contact me and say, hey, I'm going to be in Springfield on these dates, I make it a point to go and visit with them. We'll go to a coffee shop or go to a restaurant. I did not have time during the time Jennifer was here. And I'm going to make sure from now on that when things like that happen, I will make the time because I never got a chance to meet her in person. Saw her in our Discord group quite a bit, and she was a real pleasure to have on. And she will be missed. You know, she is our sister in liberty and our sister in Christ. And from everything that all the interactions I had with her live on Discord, she was just an awesome person. And the world is a little bit of a smaller place now. So just a little tribute there to let everyone know that she is no longer with us and that she will be missed. So apart from that, let me welcome everyone who's in the chat right now. That's GFI, Ganai, that would also be known as Scott, Joe Mama, Liberty Revolutionary, also known as Caleb. And then we have Alex with the Free American Press with us tonight as well. So it's a pleasure to have all you guys with us. Also on YouTube, we have Dord and Sheraton Farmer. And, of course, Voodoo Queen and Michelle Mamille. So welcome to everybody. Okay, and then, hey, Casey Rich has just joined us. Hey there, Casey. I thought it'd be a good time for us to go ahead and talk a little bit about what happened, what's happening with the Second Amendment, not just in Missouri, but the United States. And there's no better time to talk about that than after the Rittenhouse trial. And, of course, he was acquitted, and I'm not even sure acquitted is the right word. Acquitted to me means that some people in the jury wanted to say he was guilty, and that some said, he was innocent. My understanding is there's not a single person on the jury that wanted to call him guilty after seeing the evidence as it was laid out. However, go ahead. That's what I thought. I should bring up the article I saw because they used the word acquitted. And that stirs a mental image that some people were saying he was guilty and some said innocent. That's generally what acquitted means. So he would be found not guilty on all charges, is what they would normally say in the media under that circumstance. So I heard unanimous too. And so, yes, there you go. The good point. Good point. Corporate media is always a problem, right? And I think in go ahead. Yep. Yep. And it was actually because this was a direct attack on the Second Amendment, is what it was. And it was corporate sponsored and government sponsored at the same time. And in corporate, I'm talking about the media, of course. And I think we all need to really, really pay attention from this point forward because they're coming for the Second Amendment. They're coming in many different ways. And the Rittenhouse thing, guys, I got to admit to you. Oh, one more thing I want to mention. I went out to dinner with Think You Can tonight. Our good friend Think You Can from Rhode Island. He and his wife have moved to Missouri. And so, basically we did get together and go out to dinner. And so I'd like to say hello to them in case they're listening in live. They're driving home, I think, right now. But it was wonderful meeting with them. But I didn't know much about the Rittenhouse stuff. In fact, I don't mind telling you guys, you guys know how busy I am sometimes, especially those of you who know me personally. But it was Caleb right here who told me pretty much everything I know about the Rittenhouse situation. I didn't even know what it was until literally a week ago. I didn't know who Rittenhouse was. I didn't know there was an incident in Kenosha, Wisconsin. But I did actually watch the video early this morning. It was about 2 o'clock in the morning. I saw the Rittenhouse video for the very first time. What happened on the street of Kenosha, Wisconsin, that fateful night about a year and a half ago. And I don't understand how that even made it to a jury. That video was there's really no mistaking what happened in that video. And so I'd like to get your guys' thoughts on that and what your thoughts are on how the trial unfolded and the case against him. And certainly, basically with the decision, how's that going to alter this guy's life? I think so too. They made some very, very large mistakes in that. So foolishness, for one, stupidity for like how many first degree counts did they try going for? And that is, and by the way, we can argue, whether or not there was merit to having a case for third degree manslaughter. Okay, we could probably argue that and have a debate on it. But doing this first degree bullcrap that they were doing for, first degree murder, attempted first degree murder, there's just no, I can't believe they even had those as charges. It was like they were trying to lose the case. Okay. Hey, Michelle's saying she's not hearing us on Discord. Can I have more of you chime in for us 5x5? Let us know if you can hear us okay. Multiple people are talking, and hopefully you're able to hear everybody. And someone was saying she couldn't hear Caleb. Yep, I'm hearing you good, buddy. Okay. Okay, so wait for that feedback to come through. I want to point out another thing that I noticed because what I was watching on YouTube, was 18 months old. But what I also saw was news reports before and after the video. And some of it, I believe, was NBC and some of it MSNBC. And I this is one thing that caught my attention, is they kept pointing out that he had crossed state lines, basically, and, with a gun to go kill people. And I find that very interesting, without getting into a larger debate here, which isn't 100% necessary at this point, but isn't that what we're saying about with illegal immigration, crossing borders? In Democrats apparently have a problem with it if you're, a citizen inside the United States crossing state lines, apparently. That's what I got out of that. But I don't know if you guys even know what I'm talking about, because I was looking at footage that was literally 18 months old, but they kept saying it over and over again. He crossed state line. He crossed the state line. Go ahead. Okay. Okay, they only hear me. Okay, hang on one second. Yep, let me check on that. Yep, that would be my guess too. Let's see. Give me just a second, guys. Let me see what I can work out here.
From your device audio too.
Yep, that's what it was. It switched off my audio input from my audio interface. Okay, guys,
Okay.
Sorry about that. I'll tell you what, I'll re-upload this video when we're done, because I've been recording at the same time. So I apologize about that once again. Came in late from going out to dinner, so I apologize. Here we go. You guys should be able to hear everyone now.
And also the last sponge of free news says his mic is being suppressed, so I'm not sure what that means, Patrick.
The last sponge. Hey, last sponge. Sorry about that. Yeah, you're a new guy here, so let me give you a roll, and let's take you off server mute. So you can actually unmute your microphone now, last sponge. And welcome to our Discord.
Hey, how are y'all?
Hey, doing good, man. Are you in Missouri?
No, I'm from Arkansas.
That's okay. We're neighbors, man. We're neighbors.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if anybody knew about any kind of groups or something, because I'm getting into this. Like, I've found y'all from Missouri, but I don't know about anybody here in Arkansas, and so.
No, I don't think Arkansas has a group like ours. But I'll tell you what, I will do a search on Facebook. Send me a direct message if you don't mind through Discord. And that would be very helpful. And then basically I can go ahead and see if I can find some Second Amendment groups for you in Arkansas.
Yeah, we'll do.
Okay. And guys, my apologies in the YouTube. Sorry about that. That comes with the territory with getting in real late before coming in for a YouTube. So at any rate, thank you for reporting that it is fixed now. So.
I believe the last sponge of free news was also planning a political run in Arkansas. I think it was for school board, right? Is that what you were planning?
I was trying to text through chat, but that was a little difficult. I was talking about, because I've been interested in getting into political stuff here in Arkansas. I recently graduated from high school a couple months ago and have been interested in this, but there was no real access to anything from my school, so I've been seeing all this going on around here, and so, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Well, I'll tell you what, that's wonderful, first off. School board's a great place to start. So there's, people might think, well, gosh darn it, what real change can you do from a school board? I'll tell you what change you can make. You can start looking at their federal funding and see if there's a way to reduce it or cut it off completely. You can look at possibility of mandates getting through to the kids in your school district, and see what you can do about that. There's lots of things you can do from a school board. And I'm not sure if Arkansas is one of the states that did it. Missouri actually left the, the National School Board Association, but several states left with us. And that was after they said if parents are going to school board meetings, they're terrorists. More of that nonsense.
Yeah, gotta love that Eric Garland guy, eh?
Yeah. So, switching back to Second Amendment, I don't know if there are any red flag laws in that omnibus bill they just passed. Does anyone know? And it's
I'm
passed in the
pretty sure
House. Go ahead.
As far as I know, no. As far as I know, I haven't looked too much into that one.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
I heard they had one. I don't know if it got taken out or whatever when they tried to trim that bill down or whatever, but
Yeah.
I'd heard they had one in there.
That was the military budget one that they passed and got signed off on.
Is that the
Oh.
one where the military folks, basically red flag
Mhm.
laws? Son of a gun. That got through the House, huh?
Yep. They
Oh,
got
boy.
no, that one's done. That one's signed.
I mean, that one's a law. The president signed it?
Yep.
Oh, wow. Well,
Yeah. So it goes under the uniform military code, whatever.
Yeah.
But, so it
It's
doesn't
funny
apply
how
to,
when they vote for budgets that they get all this other stuff in there. I find that pretty funny. That doesn't even relate to budgets.
gotta love bait and switch.
well, we got to, we're lucky here in Missouri. I feel bad for everyone else. Looks like we have Webline in here. Let me go ahead and get you a roll and a microphone. You now have a microphone, so you can use it now, Webline. Welcome to the Discord chat, by the way. That stuff, that silly nonsense, the red flag laws they're doing in Washington, D.C., because of SEPA and because of the Missouri Constitution and the Fifth Amendment, we're pretty much safe from that stuff right now, unless they actually come up with something to damage or water down SEPA. And that's part of what we're going to talk about tonight, because we do have to be watching for that. My understanding is there's a new piece of legislation to weaken SEPA that's being worked on right now by, I think it's a Republican. Now, I think I was told the name, but I don't remember. And I'm not saying that to be cagey. It's because as of right now, Sunday night, I don't know who that is. I was told a name and I didn't recognize it. So it might be in the House, might not be in the Senate, because I think I know most of the senators' names.
We'll find out and publicly reprimand them.
Yep. And Crystal, yep, you can download Discord, or you can actually operate Discord from within a browser. However, if you want to come into Discord and talk, the microphone works a whole lot better from the software.
Yeah, it works better from the software on the computer or the software on your phone too. You got good data.
Yep.
When I
Are
was
they
talking
still
to
going?
a couple of the senators, he said he didn't know anything about any legislation that was being brought up.
Yep, nothing's been brought up yet, and like I said, I can't say anything more than that. I know that I've heard that it's actually being worked on, and this is basically stuff that's being recommended by people in Southeast Missouri. So that's all I really know right now.
Patrick, are they still going ahead with the COVID tyranny bill?
Well, that's actually still being touched up. Pre-filing begins in approximately 1 month. So about 1 month before these are pre-filed.
Are you helping them write the bill?
No, I am not. Nope. So we're going to stay the course right now at this moment. I'm going to work on my own bill for silver and gold, but we're going to stay the course on making sure that everyone's staying sharp as a tack for what's coming to try and water down SEPA or get rid of it, for the time being. We'll have more stuff to look at very, very soon, though. So there's all kinds, that's the thing. Scott was in Jefferson City. I was going to try and make it. I couldn't. But Scott was making mention, the sheer amount of grassroots movements, organized organizations there are in Missouri. And he would be right about that. I think per capita, we have more grassroots movements than any other state that I know of currently in the 50 United States per capita. And they're all liberty-based, basically. There's a few that are national and they're not homegrown, like, Moms Demand Action, stuff like that. Because we used to deal with them up in Jeff City. So, yeah, I wish Jimmy were with us tonight. Because, yeah, we've had some fun with that in the past. Publicly reprimand them. Let's see. Public recommend by politicians is
Gary
Go ahead.
Gary Ride says physical silver and physical gold only.
Yeah.
In
No,
the chat.
Yep, you bet. I know.
Mhm.
I know. Okay, so let's continue on the line of the Second Amendment here. Rittenhouse is over, and people are anticipating all kinds of riots. But guys, I've not been able to check the news or anything, but is Soros not writing checks to rioters anymore? Because we're just not having anything going on right now like we did in the summer of 2020.
Yeah, Trump's
the
not in
reason-
office anymore, so they don't need the riots.
No. The reason why they're not rioting is because that will commit more political suicide for them right now, because we're getting close to the midterms. If there was riots again, I think they would lose more of their politicians that they want to keep in. That's just what I'm assuming. I could be
think
wrong.
Say more focused, less rioting, and I have a feeling from some people that I know that have contacts in various places that can get some information from these BLM groups and all. I'd wager my bets that they've possibly got some bounties on some heads of jurors more than anything.
Really?
Potentially on Rittenhouse's head himself.
Wow.
So, and I'm not
Yeah,
a
but-
fan, and the people I'm associated with are not a fan of that either.
Yeah, but one thing too, though, I don't think we should say there's not rioting happening or bad stuff in America, because one of the biggest robberies here in California just happened. There was over 80 people who robbed one of the biggest stores in Walnut Creek in California, and they just stole everything. Millions and millions of dollars worth of stuff, and that's kind of like the rioting in Kenosha that started all this stuff. They burned millions of dollars worth of cars, I believe, and that's why Kyle Rittenhouse over there. So something, as bad or worse just happened here in California.
Yeah. Bunch of little authoritarians running around.
Hey guys, I thought I'd make mention real quick here. We have Matt Perry with us in the YouTube chat. I'd like to say hello to Matt, and I'd like to extend our deepest condolences. We actually said some words about your wife here just a little while ago. How very sorry we are that you lost her. And she was a very good friend to our channel, and we will never forget that. And our prayers go out to you, and we're just very, very sorry, man. We're very sorry. But Matt did put something funny in the chat. He said everyone needs to make a Rittenhouse drink. 1 chaser followed by 3 shots.
Already got it.
Yeah. Well, mine's just water, but I'll do it.
Hey, Patrick.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Webeline is actually that's my wife.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, welcome, Webeline. It's wonderful having you here. And you don't have to turn your mic on; it's not a requirement. But thank you very much for joining us in the Discord.
There's actually, I seen an article where there was actually a couple of cases in a couple of different states, one being down in Florida about the same thing, like the Rittenhouse, where the guy was doing self-defense, and his trial was over just like a couple of days after Rittenhouse, and he was acquitted of all his charges.
Yeah. Well, there's some squirrely stuff going on with this whole thing here. I was talking about, and once again, I'm probably bringing up something that many people won't remember, because I just watched video early this morning from Rittenhouse, the actual video in Kenosha, Wisconsin, that fateful night, and news reports before, and after, talking about how he had crossed state lines. And I thought that was kind of strange. Well, he's not a native, he's not, a Kenosian or whatever they call it. But I just found it kind of interesting that the mainstream media seemed to focus on that point quite a bit.
Well, they wanted to hide the fact that his dad lived on the other side of the state line there too, towards Kenosha.
Yeah, I was gonna say they keep going with this perpetual lie about it. He lived in Kenosha. He
Yeah, about
got
half
that
the
gun
time.
in Kenosha.
Yeah.
Wasn't it his dad, his grandmother, and his friend. They all live there, and he worked there, and
Yeah, and then his mom lives in like Illinois and something like that. He
Yeah.
kept going back and forth over the
You
state
know,
line. He lived in
honestly-
both states legally.
There's just got to be a reason why they're just pushing this so much in the media, because the trial's getting 90% of all the media time. I just find I find it odd when the media really pushes something, even when they lose on their side, because you would have thought if once they lost, they would have stopped talking about it to lose back face, or not to lose any more face in a sense. So it's almost like a deflect, I think, from some more important issues that are going on right now. I think that's why the media is talking about it.
Go ahead, Scott.
Well, isn't it that the Department of Justice is now going to try to pursue charges against him?
Well,
go ahead.
that was what's his face, Nadler, that mentioned that, but he seems to forget his constitution and the fact that it's double jeopardy.
Yep. I was going to say they can't do it, but once again, the best they could possibly hope for is a civil trial. Now they tried a criminal trial, and that did not work out too well for them. And it is within the boundaries of the law for them to pursue something in a civil court, and that's about.
Go
ahead.
I was just gonna say, they knew they were gonna lose this trial. It almost seems like everything now is more political theater than anything. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that term.
It is.
Another thing too is they're also there's another thing on the side that's happened that they're kind of burying. The Andrew Coffey guy, who I think is over in Oregon, Washington, something. Anyway, so it was a no-knock raid. Cops busted into his house, and he shot them all. And of course, wasn't doing anything. I think it was like a wrong house or something, if I remember correctly. But he shot them all, and then he was just acquitted on that.
Wait, what?
Yeah, this happened sometime last year. No knock raid. They busted in his house, and he shot them all, and he got off on it because they never announced who they were. And you wake up in the middle of the night, someone busts in your house, you shoot him. I mean, and he got off with it.
You would have thought, though, the media would have blown that out of proportion too. So there's got to be a reason why they're blowing this out of proportion. I think it's to deflect from what's going on with COVID and everything else. What the federal government is going to do. I think Biden is going to do something because the court said they're going to not have this mandatory serum for everybody. With 100 employees or more. That's what the court said. So. I don't know. I'm thinking there's going to be something happening with that.
Voodoo Queen says we have to be thankful that the jury didn't fold and they actually did their job. And I agree with you, Voodoo. And by the way, it's great to have you back again, Voodoo, as well. That is correct, because we have to almost expect corruption, or payouts, buy-offs of any kind, having to do with anything happening in the criminal courts now on this measure, on the Second Amendment, because they're desperately trying to weaken it as quickly as they possibly can. It seems to me that it's not only in their purview and what they believe their purview is, but it's a mandate. Take away the guns. Yeah. Guys, I just want to say once again, look at Canada, look at Australia. Look what happens when the guns get taken away. Things aren't really awesome here in the United States like they were in the 1950s, but at least we still have our guns.
Yeah, they weren't.
I think what they're going to start doing, what they're going to start doing is starting to take away guns in individual states like New York and California. They'll probably try that. Even in California, though, there's a lot of people who own guns. A lot of liberals own guns too. So I think there's going to be a lot of pushback. So I don't know. But if they do try to get rid of guns, I don't think they'll do it on the federal level. I think there's three possibilities. They'd either try to get like a Supreme Court decision somehow, kind of how they allowed gay marriage and everything. That's why we're taking away the guns, because there's a Supreme Court decision. Or it's going to be, the states are going to start taking them away, or it's going to be the federal government. What do you think would be their most logical approach to take away all the guns, Patrick? What do you think they're planning on doing?
Red flag laws, I think, is probably the most prominent. For instance, if you don't, do one of these things, maybe they'll want to take away your guns. If you don't have that very special, piece of paper saying that you did this, I don't know. If you're on any medications whatsoever, through PDMP, through prescription drug law, that they're trying to, basically nationalize.
Yeah.
And also going after veterans like they apparently just did, red flag laws for veterans. I'm not sure what the circumstances are, but they are definitely targeting veterans as well.
I can attest to that. I'm seeing, I don't know if y'all are noticing this, either on the radio when you're driving or on the commercials on the TV. I'm seeing so many of these VA veteran commercials about suicide hotlines and how they need to lock up your guns because they're pushing these. To me, it seems like they're pushing the anti-gun stance with veterans, and I'm seeing it so much more in the last 2 months.
Yeah.
The problem
that
is,
makes sense.
if they're taking that direction, what they're going to do is they're going to piss off those veterans.
Yep.
I think this is all a ploy to try and divide people because right now this country is so polarized. I see it everywhere, and honestly, I think that I don't know what their plan is, but really, I feel it's trying to drive a wedge in between people when we right now need to start trying to stand together and see what's going on, what our government is doing. Like, look at Austria, what's going on in there right now. They just went full 1938 all over again.
Yeah.
Like, it's scary. I see the repeat in history, and it really is scary to me.
Well, you know what happened? The funny thing is, they've been doing this a long time. It's the divide and conquer. It's the Great Reset. It's the Fourth Industrial Revolution. That's what it is. That's all this is.
Yeah, it's
Now you can't go. I think it's in Serbia, something like that. You can't buy gas without the thing.
Yep.
Check. It thought it was a C. I was reading a story about that. A family who was posting Twitter feed about how they're living their unvaxxed life there, and it's almost as if like I'm reading a Holocaust book. It's really upsetting.
Last sponge. I have a friend who went to Austria during COVID. Who went out there. He said he couldn't even leave his house during the whole COVID thing, and they arrested a guy for just sitting on a bench outside. That's how they are in Europe.
That was happening in Virginia. That was happening in Virginia. People sitting alone on a beach.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was happening all over the place. You go outside in the wrong time, you'd be arrested for sitting alone outside.
Oh, that never happened where I live, so I guess I'm
that you're aware of. What part of California in?
I'm in a very conservative part, so I think that's why.
I know parts of California. When I took a trip down to visit some family in Alabama what month of the pandemic when it was beginning? I'm trying to remember. It was like sometime in March. And back then, you couldn't even, everybody the fear factor was so high. Like, you had to have your mask. Nobody was relaxed about anything. And understandable as everybody was freaking out, but the fear was just too much, man.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on. Honestly, I think I'm probably the only person in my county who hasn't worn a mask once. Everybody just wears them everywhere, so it's kind of crazy.
Well, they're kind of trendy. Next year, everyone will be doing it.
Yeah, and another thing too I wanted to mention too was I think Matt Perry had a really good comment on the YouTube chat. He said that they're actually doing I don't know how to pronounce her name correctly, but Jeffrey Epstein's girlfriend's trial around the same time.
Oh yeah,
that's the 29th, correct?
Oh, I think it's kind of the deflection, the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. Oh, we're going to be talking about that, but not about the Kyle Rittenhouse thing was important, granted, but this is way more important in my opinion.
Oh no, Rittenhouse should never have been in court. That should never have happened.
Well, we
all saw the footage.
Some talk that might have been a deflection because they don't want the media's not talking about this at all.
Oh, it's guaranteed that's a deflection. There's guaranteed.
That's what I thought, and that's kind of what Matt is kind of saying. What do you guys know about that trial that's going on?
Biden actually just appointed the judge who was supposed to judge her trial to the second court, so she's got a new judge now.
Okay, a paid off judge, I imagine. That's closely linked to, Epstein, CIA, Mossad, something like that. Can I say that on
I
YouTube?
think that either happened today or yesterday.
Yeah.
Epstein didn't kill himself. Epstein was Mossad and CIA both. He was a double agent. Can I say that on YouTube, or is that something they shut down a channel for?
I mean,
Oh, I
Glenn
don't
said
think
it
so.
earlier yesterday, so I mean, I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll find out shortly.
Find it funny
Oh
how
my
this
God.
Epstein. Find
Michael
it funny how
Bolden
this.
just. Oh God, Michael Bolden just posted something on Twitter, and he says somebody just showed me his card as verification to get an okay for him to panhandle.
Panhandle. That's rich. Okay.
Oh my God, I opened this up because I was looking for a video I wanted to send on the chat. And it's
If you get a COVID ID card so you can panhandle in California, well, you just might be a redneck.
oh my God, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just had to throw that out there. It was hilarious.
Oh boy.
Senator Moon said that he would be willing to teach people about their rights according to the Constitution of Missouri. Like, he would that he would travel and he would just teach you about the Constitution.
Let's get him in for a live stream. Let's get Senator Moon on. I haven't asked him yet, so that's on me. So maybe we can get him in here to talk about Missouri rights. I mean, that's what our channel's all about.
And he said that just per things going on, that we could do here in the state of Missouri.
Definitely. Yeah, me and Patrick were kind of talking about that before, how on the local school board you could actually make a new constitutional studies class. And, I think that would probably be something really important for Missouri to accomplish. So, because even the public schools in Missouri are just, propaganda. So if you could make a new class.
The public schools in Missouri are addicted to federal funding. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think
that's an understatement. Let's see here. Is that it?
Let's see. Matt Perry says the left wins either way. The Rittenhouse verdict went. If acquitted, they'd riot, furthering their division plans. If found guilty, they'd be emboldened to come after us for us and our guns. Win-win either way. That's a good point, Matt.
Let's see if I can transfer this to my computer.
So,
Maxwell lady, just gonna say, I bet this Maxwell lady's probably gonna get years probation or something, and they're not even gonna cover it all in the media. Like, I don't even see it on Zero Hedge. This Maxwell trial. Have you guys seen it there?
No, I'm just waiting for Maxwell to hang herself, 1.5 feet off the ground like Epstein did.
Yeah.
So
we'll see how that goes.
Okay, so my name's not actually Webaline, it's Libby.
Hi there,
I just
Libby.
use Webaline as the username. Hi, I'm Scott's wife.
Yes.
So I teach in Columbia Public Schools.
Uh-huh.
But I also taught in the Virginia Beach City Public Schools.
Okay.
And Virginia Beach City Public Schools rely more on government funding than any other schools I've ever seen. Because they make those kids take tests every 9 weeks. And if their test scores aren't high enough, they lose their funding.
That's interesting.
I was going to attest to that.
In Virginia Beach, you're not teaching for knowledge. You're teaching for memorization.
Mm-hmm.
As a recently graduated student, I can attest to that. That is how our schools are, like my area, very much so. We like having our tests in up area because I don't know if you've heard anything. I'm from Randolph County, Arkansas, and our school has a $9 million budget, all federal, and boy, do they love it.
Must be nice. Can we get some books from my school?
I'm just saying.
Can we put away the iPads and actually open up a history book? That'd be awesome.
Hey, Sponge, if you could siphon off or sponge up some of that federal cash over there, get it to Webaline, that would be nice. Maybe we can find a way to do it, laundering, federal school money.
I know, right? Like $9 million. That's an extremely high budget for a school out here, and I don't think we had more than 500 or 600 kids coming through at least the junior high and our high school at one time. And so, when I was talking about getting into school, is I see this issue going on with my student, or not my student. Well, I want to call them my students, my younger peers at the school, and we're doing all. Oh no, I'm having technical difficulties.
That's okay, man. I had them earlier too. Hey, Webalign, there's one thing you haven't considered yet, and that is actually submitting for a grant for your public school on how, basically global warming is affecting the kids in the public school there. You'll probably get it. Probably at least $1 trillion.
So I just tell them that it's too hot to go out to recess, or the kids complain because it's cold at recess.
Yeah, that's what
the
study will reveal that, but don't tell them that before you get the grant money. So,
okay, I got it.
Yep. So that's probably the best way to go. Probably the most efficient way to go is just say you're doing.
No child left behind as long as they get that Fed money.
No child left behind to burn up.
That's the worst thing, because I teach to actually teach children. I want them to be educated. I don't want them to walk around going, huh? I want them to actually be educated, but I've seen some crazy stuff going on, and I've witnessed sometimes in classrooms where I just don't want to say a whole lot, but sometimes in classrooms where some teachers get to the point where they just don't care anymore because of the government always having their hand in everything.
That's kind of the reason I don't care anymore either, so I kind of get your point.
I get what you're saying about that. With the students, I want to say it's probably like we're not being treated as right. As I'm going to speak like a student a little bit. How I would talk to my teachers is that we're not being treated right educationally. Like my last 2 years of high school, which was all under this COVID, was horrible. We were put on Chromebooks, told to do internet learning. We weren't allowed to have actual education with our teachers.
Mm-hmm.
It was mostly just. I'm trying to remember the name of the company. It's like one of the three big education. Not education. It's Pearson. Thank you. Yes, it was Pearson VUE. They had that all for internet set up, and they were just giving it to kids. And we completely cut out everything. It was just math, English. Everything else was gone.
Wow.
Yeah, I tutored a high school student during COVID in geometry, and I had to actually correct the example answers that the teacher had on there because she got them wrong.
Yeah.
And she never would get on and help the students. She wouldn't do anything. She just wasn't teaching. She put up some notes, put up a quiz, and tell them to do it.
Yeah.
I think it's very sad.
She'll get a raise.
Yep, and a promotion. Good or tenure.
She'll be principal in 3 years.
She'll be running the school. She'll be, superintendent.
God, I hope not.
We tease. Yeah, not a whole lot of big fans
she'll
of.
Remember those teachers that try to teach too.
Yeah, not a whole.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of folks here that are really excited about the federal government having its hand up the public school systems, but all the way to their elbows.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. That was crude, and I apologize, guys. I shouldn't have said that.
Why not? It's the truth.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's just true.
You should never apologize for accuracy.
It's true.
What's
I
that,
agree.
Joe Mama?
Hey, did y'all hear over there in Wisconsin somebody ran through a parade today?
Ran
Awful.
through
I've been
parade.
reading about it for nonstop for the last hour. Three suspects in a car. They don't have any identities on them. They just know that it's that.
Oh.
I don't even want to speculate on how, because it's just so bad. This is going to get real media attention in the coming weeks.
Well, 3 suspects in a I actually posted on the Discord just before the stream. 3 suspects in a car, but I suspect it will be dropped rather quickly and kicked out of the media because all 3 of them were black.
Yeah.
Where was this?
I can't pronounce it. Something Wisconsin.
Okay. Well, can I suggest that we actually just sue the auto manufacturer? Yeah, I think that's probably the best. That's definitely the way to go. If it's Ford, we just sue them out of existence, because clearly
Yeah,
the
and
Ford. Go ahead.
we need car control too.
Yeah, car control.
Vehicle.
We need,
Hey, that's part of the New World Order Internet of Things. It's your car won't start without certain aspects and you completing them.
Oh,
Hey, if
you
this
know,
was
you
a
were so
Tesla, he
right.
wouldn't have even been able to go towards the crowd.
That's what this whole thing is, though. You watched Jeffrey Maddie's presentation, Patrick. It's all about all COVID was for the social credit system. You have
Correct.
to be a good citizen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Bill Gates was even talking about a patch that you can put on that works just like the COVID serum, but that it updates itself to give you a new serum without you even knowing it. He was just talking about that, like a social credit, update chip type thing. So it's just crazy what's going on. It's all for the social credit system, I think.
I believe
it's not
so.
just social credit. It's
carbon
called,
taxes on your life, really.
Not just that either. It's called biodigital convergence.
Transhumanism.
Yep, literally.
That's part of it. I agree.
That's part of the video clip I'm trying to get here, but I can't quite get it to come up. Let's see here. Let's go back to the chat, eh?
Yep, but social credit scoring is a very big part of it. China's pioneering it for the world right now. They basically it's how to be a good little slave in a communist system, and how easily everything can be taken away from you. How quickly and easily the government can turn off your life, turn off your wallet, turn off your ability to travel, turn off your retirement, turn off your insurance, until you decide to behave.
Okay, I'm just gonna do a screen share and try to share this. Let's see what happens, eh?
See, the problem, in a perfect world, that might be a good system. There's an argument for the way the Japanese treat families of criminals, but the fact of the matter is, it will be abused because it's government. Government abuses every privilege, every single privilege we allow them as people. They abuse. That's why we can't afford to give them privilege anymore. Caleb, did you want me to go to your screen?
Yeah, see if you can.
Okay.
All right, I got this recording here.
Okay.
I took a screen recording on my phone here.
Okay.
So. It's like a minute.
Is there audio with it?
There's audio with it. Is it not coming through? Let me change my audio source.
Okay.
Crap. Hang on. Okay. Options. You can probably go on with what you're doing there for the moment.
Okay, gotcha.
All right. Let me try. Maybe if I just do it like this. Eh?
Okay, so that looked like Klaus Schwabe.
Yeah, it was good old Schwab.
Okay, we're going back to your stream now.
Yeah, let's see if I can get this to work. The audio is more important than anything.
Okay.
Let's see here.
Okay, Gabriel says, while you're getting ready here, why do we have ready here? We're getting feedback. We're getting feedback, and it's coming through Liberty, I think.
Hang on a sec. Oh, hang on a second. Is it? Shouldn't be monitoring my crap. Okay, see if you can hear it now.
Okay. Okay, here we go. Feedback. Okay, here we go. Feedback. No, here we go. Dang it. Okay. Okay, now that I'm out of the stream. There we go. Sorry about that, gang. Gabriel asked a good question. Missouri Liberty Alliance. Also, why is Missouri Liberty Alliance changing the name? Tell you what, I'm still dealing with that. And the reason being is there's an organization called Liberty Alliance USA that is saying that our name is close enough to theirs to basically require us to change our name. And I don't want to get into more details right now because actually I talked to 2 attorneys who disagreed with that. However, once I studied the organization and who is running it and who they used to work for, it became very clear to me that this isn't a battle that I should be fighting. That's why I'm changing the name. And I'll talk more about it very openly when it's all over. Let's see. Can anyone think of an area of life that isn't crazy anymore? It seems like everything's upside down and sideways. Well, that's true because actually prices are not falling at Walmart anymore. In fact, prices are going up at Walmart. So, once that happens, you just realize, that, and I'm joking, of course. No, everything in life is changing and not necessarily for the better. But I would, I've not done a video on this in a long time, gang, but for those of you who have not gotten into precious metals, it might be a real good time to get in now. Might be a real good time. And I'm not, saying that I know anything or I have any special knowledge. I don't. It just feels like if you haven't gotten in yet, now might be a real good time. Okay.
There we go.
Michelle says, someone needs to stop the world and let me off. Yeah, I understand that. Nevada Cario, you are busy moving. Awesome, buddy. So Pika's chiming in. Okay, good deal, man. Move, Nevada Cario. Move like the wind. Okay, so we're going to give up on the video for now, the Klaus Schwab video.
Well, I actually have it uploading on YouTube right now, so if we're still on when it's uploaded, it's only like 1 minute and 14 seconds.
Okay, gotcha.
So what did he do, Liberty?
Huh?
What did Charles Schwab do?
Klaus Schwab, you mean?
Oh yeah.
I'm looking for that video now. I believe I saw the exact same one on, I believe it was an InfoWars channel, but he had that same video.
It's 3 different segments that are in that make the point from 3 different videos. But it's the opening to a Last American Vagabond video that I saved.
I gotcha.
Tribulation Prepper says, silver, who needs it? Industry needs it. Industry needs it.
Hey, Patrick, I was going to ask, are there any good books or anything like that to get into for reading? Because I have no idea how to do silver. My school's never even taught anything about that. And I truly believe, coming with how things are going with the country, with my honest view of how the supply chain collapse is going, that's going to be probably more of an essential currency, like hard metals or anything that you can like physically trade for stuff, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Mike Maloney wrote a book, so that is the Guide to Investing in Gold and Silver, and that would be the first. And by the way, about 85% of the book is actually the history of gold and silver throughout the history of the world. It's a very good read.
Are you talking about Mike Maharry?
Mike Maloney.
Maloney?
Yeah.
I'm unfamiliar.
Goldsilver.com. He's a silver and gold guy, Mike Maloney.
Let's see.
And Prepper. Rabid Coyote is with us, I guess. And
Hey, Patrick.
yeah, go ahead.
Anyone that you know in the legislature talking about working some sort of electoral college system here with the counties so that the cities don't take over our elections?
No, but I have some legislation I'd like to propose, and it was an idea that I got from Alex at the Free American Press, but I don't want to do it in 2022. So, and that is basically something actually that would go beyond legislation, and that is start dividing up the land area in Missouri for senators and stop doing senators in the state of Missouri by population and do it by land, just like we do it in the U.S. government. That will prevent
the governorship as well.
Okay.
Yep.
Because that way we can't have Kansas City, St. Louis, Columbia, and Springfield running the state.
Oh,
that's my biggest concern.
True. That's true, Rebel. That's the way it used to be. We used to have electoral colleges basically for the governorship as well. So that is something Patrick could include if he wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
So you win the county, you get one vote, one electoral college vote. Whoever wins the most counties wins the state and get the governorship or the senatorship.
And the good thing about Missouri is that all its counties are already spread out pretty good. Like you don't have like a whole bunch of little counties in Springfield or the big cities. They're all your counties are around the same size. So the county system will work pretty good in your state already.
Right.
How the counties are divided up already. You don't even need to do any work.
Yep. So I'm thinking that's something to do after 2022. We've got to stop beer flu tyranny in the state of Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
Very important. We've got to save SEPA, and there's probably a tax coming on that. We got to concentrate on that as well. We're going to try and get gold and silver reinstated as actual physical money in the state of Missouri and give businesses the confidence to use it. And then there's several other things here that are in the works as well. This is going to be probably the most exciting legislative year the state of Missouri has ever seen before in 2022. A lot of stuff's going to go on. And also, too, guys, we have a tremendous opportunity. For those of you listening, we have a tremendous opportunity to get a lot of good work done in 2022 because it is an election year. And also, too, the tide is turning against beer flu tyranny in the state of Missouri. The people are tired of it here, just tired of it. Governor Parson is obviously not interested in helping out the average citizen. He did write an executive order that was pretty good for the state employees and state contractors that they can get out of getting, this thing in your arm. You can get out of getting that with a religious or medical exemption, but he left the average Missourian in the cold. He did nothing for the average Missourian. So basically we'll have to get it done legislatively and shove it down his throat. He had the opportunity to do the right thing, much like DeSantis did in Florida, and he chose not to.
I mean, even the Democrat governor next door over there in Kansas has called a special session on the matter.
Yep, but also, too, they had enough votes to do it. She called for a special session after there was, if I recall reading the story, it was 66% of the Senate and 66% of the House basically voted to do it, so she really didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
So,
here in Missouri, we got to have 75%.
Yep, that's right. That's something else we got to change.
Good luck with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I just I stuck the link to that video over in the chat.
Okay, so it's in the. Okay,
yeah,
hang on.
Let's there.
See if I can make it work. Give me just a moment here, gang. Now I got to switch audio sources.
Will lead to is a fusion.
Okay, starting over.
What the fourth industrial revolution will lead to is a fusion of our physical, our digital, and our biological identities.
The difference of this fourth industrial revolution is it doesn't change what you are doing. It changes you. If you take genetic editing, just as an example, it's you who are changed. And of course, this has a big impact on your identity.
Hey, Pat, I'm going to jump off here. I got some stuff we got to do.
The COVID-19 crisis as a timely opportunity. So people assume we are just going back to the good old world, which we had, and everything will be normal again in how we are used to normal in the old fashion. This is, let's say, fiction. It will not happen. The cut which we have now is much too strong in order not to leave traces.
Well, that was interesting.
Yeah.
So Klaus Schwab is at it again.
Klaus Schwab is he's and this is kind of the point that I make. I often want to get on here. I talk about counter economics.
Mm-hmm.
It's important to establish those markets now, alternative systems, alternative currency. I don't care what currency you want to use or if you just want to do trading posts. The reality is you need to set up that system now, because if you don't, the people that didn't jump in on that aren't going to have a place to run to for market engagement, and they are going to be screwed.
Yep. I tend to agree with you on that. This is the kind of thing that Travis talks about too, is your network. Basically it's part of the prepping thing. It's, developing a network for trade as well. Network for helping each other out. So I agree with you. And I also think that gold and silver would be, excellent currency. And of course you could trade other things too. But, gold and silver are always going to be desirable in a situation like that. So counter economics is a big part of what we have to think of when they're talking about a global reset. A lot of people are going to get hurt in this. In fact, this is one of those things that's going to touch everyone. It doesn't matter if you're in Missouri or any other state, and it doesn't matter what country. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Australia, there are several million people protesting in the streets of Sydney right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it's, I can't remember what country. Might have been Albania or one of those countries over there in Eastern Europe.
There's protests in Romania, Rome. Trying to remember the third one.
One of them, a bunch of both former police and former military and everything else is taking up arms.
Yeah, that's Austria. I was reading about that yesterday. The Austrian armed forces are backing their civilians. The side of the population who doesn't want to get the jab, and I don't know how it's going to turn out. There's just feed coming out over the weekend. It was supposed to be, I think Monday is when the main protest is, and that's going to be, well, we'll see what happens there.
Hey,
it's going to be big.
Oh, yeah.
Could you post that article on the Discord? I'd like to see that because I don't think I've seen that. That's thanks for sharing that too.
Yeah, I will send something over there.
Hey,
for that.
Crystal Roby's checking out, so I guess she got to head to bed. It was very nice having you. Thank you for stopping in. Also, Jay Royal is here from Boonville, by the way. Boonville, Missouri. Nice to have you in, Jay Royal.
It's Croatia. It's Croatia that they're doing that. It's literally former police, everybody. It's been a war zone for years. They're saying screw it. They are grabbing their guns and going after the government.
Wow. That's news to me.
I've got footage from there.
Yeah, clap for them. I praise them. Hopefully they can get all that over quick.
A message I got. It says 2,500 brave Croatian men have formed a volunteer battalion. Many of them are in the army, police force, or were previously. They are sending loud messages to the ruling party. If the Croatian government continues to push the passports, the cards for that, these men will fix that problem by any means necessary. Expect to see more of this coming into 2022. Yeah.
Yeah. So the reset continues, guys. That's basically what it comes down to. They haven't slowed down. They haven't stopped. But it seems to me that there's resistance with the beer flu and all things related right now. And they're probably regrouping to figure out how to deal with that.
Here's what I chalk it up to.
Mm-hmm.
These are the same people that are of the ruling families that created the tyrannical governance throughout the last century. They are some of the last generation that were directly linked to them. most of them are actually children of Nazis or were Hitler Youth. And they are in their old years and they don't have much longer. They want power or they are going to destroy the earth in the process.
Scorched earth policy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't want to go negative on that, but I've had a lot of theories on that as well over the years. And it's central bankers. It's the ones controlling central banks and the big banks around the world.
Mm-hmm.
And
we have the power though. So when they try to bring it down on their terms, we have a market to counter that.
Yep.
That's the point of counter economics because when they bring it down, it isn't going to matter because they have no power if they have no power over the market.
Yeah.
Can I just mention that George Soros is the last surviving member of a party from a long time ago who is now probably the most powerful man in the world at this point?
George Soros, no. I disagree. Well, yes, he
not
is
the most powerful man, but
yeah, he's not the most powerful man, but he is a powerful man.
Yeah, he's kind of low-hanging fruit.
He is kind of, actually, when you think about it.
The most powerful person in the world, I believe, is the Queen of England.
I mean, like from back in his time, like I don't want to say it because it's YouTube. They don't like the words being said, but a certain party from back in the 30s that we defeated in the 40s,
mm-hmm.
He's one of the last surviving members who's this high up in life now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
actually, Klaus
true.
Schwab. Klaus Schwab was Hitler Youth,
mm-hmm.
and so was Klaus Schwab and Soros are about the same age. They're both children of that party.
Yeah, basically what Soros did was he told the Germans where all the Jews were.
Mm-hmm. It was the rat boy.
Yep.
Yeah,
Matt Perry
he's basically.
go ahead.
Oh, go on, Patrick. Sorry.
Well, Matt Perry was saying it's bigger than that. Once again, referring to this is good against evil. You know, basically from many people's point of view, this is as much a spiritual warfare as it is a financial one or even a physical one. So there's a lot more going on. We were just talking about how things just don't make sense anymore. And that basically was 2 Timothy where they've talked about this, in the Bible. But, once
it's energetic. You can feel it in the air.
You
kind of. I think everybody can.
And you got to try hard not to be negative. Once again, people ask me, and by the way, people ask me, I say that once in a while, but I really mean it. People ask me all the time, how do you stay positive? With all the stuff that you talk about, all the stuff you study, all the things how do you stay positive? And the answer to the question is literally, I have a lot of faith, literally in God and Jesus Christ. That's how I stay so positive. And having kids and grandkids helps too. But there's a lot of bad things going on out there. There truly is. And a lot of people don't even understand. But they should be understanding very quickly if they're going to the grocery store. They're screwed.
Yeah.
Bad things are coming financially.
As for myself, I don't necessarily look to that side of faith as much as I do, particularly in today's situation. Of course, I have that too, but I also look at the if people do the right thing and create their counter-economic systems, the people who are desperate will find a place to go. And when those solutions are offered to them and the markets exist, they'll flock to that before they ever flock to the government that screwed them over.
And remember now, the love of money is the root of all evil. So that's what it's all about. That's why they're printing trillions and trillions off the printing press, giving it to their buddies so they can buy up everything of value before that paper currency trickles down the economy and becomes less and less valuable. So we're left, and also we're the ones who pay taxes in that currency. So always remember who your enemy is. When this whole thing comes down, never forget who the enemy was. Politicians, bankers. That's who it was. I'm not talking about your local. Go ahead.
Even a lot of the federal politicians are just puppets. They have no idea. They're the useful idiots.
Yeah, but they're the ones who actually make it happen. So. They don't have to spend, but of course they're being encouraged to.
Yep.
So you really think that gold and silver would be the new currency, like as this pandemic goes further?
No. Let me rephrase. I didn't mean to say that it's going to be the new currency. What I'm saying is with it ties in beautifully with what Caleb said. You have to get off their system. You must get off their system. If you stay in their system, you're trapped. So if you want to trade, and eventually if they go to a social credit scoring system, digital dollars, digital wallets, digital driver's licenses, social credit scoring, like I said before, if you want out of that system, you have to have a different currency, one that can't be monitored and tracked, and that would be gold and silver. So it's all about counter economics.
Mm-hmm.
And currently we don't have that. Well, we do have that option. It's not like there's something, saying you can't use gold and silver as money. Caleb, wants to sell me a Ford Bronco. And I happen to, it's a used Ford Bronco. And I happen to have, some gold Eagles. We could make that transaction happen, Caleb and I. Mm-hmm. There's no law against that. And shame on you for selling me a Ford Bronco. I wanted an Escalade. So, in that particular scenario.
I wish I had that much, man. I wish I had that much.
But to go to the grocery store and bring some coins of silver, and then, purchase your groceries, right now, they won't take it. So basically, what it takes is legislation on the state level saying, well, yes, you can take it. It's your choice, but you can take it. It's legal in the state of Missouri. And if the state says that, businesses will be much more likely to actually adopt the usage of gold and silver. That's the whole point of getting legislation done, is getting the faith of the people behind something.
Mm-hmm. Letting people with the illusion that government is some authority
actually, like
oh, I can do that now.
Be your own banker. Gold is to preserve wealth. Silver is to barter and trade with. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And the systems are stronger in Missouri than you might think. I know some people that have, whether it be ties with the Amish community and then auctions that they do with and whatnot, and it's in the KC area. It's not that far-fetched. I mean, there's a lot of people that engage in it.
Yeah, Rabbit Cody's going to sell me his Denali, apparently. Nice. Vroom, vroom. So, once again, assuming it's gold and not silver, I imagine. When is Missouri getting a gold back? Oh, I don't know. Hopefully sometime soon.
All I can say is be careful about buying vehicles. They depreciate.
Yeah, vehicles do depreciate. But I'll tell you what, gang, I'm going to probably wrap it up here real soon. So I'll give you your last call here for comments and questions. And we'll leave it open in the Discord for half an hour after we stop the stream for those of you who want to come in and talk to us in Discord. Didn't want to be on the live stream. And once again, we have no problem with that whatsoever. I know some people don't want to be on a live stream or whatever. So we do stay in for a little bit longer to talk with those guys. That's not an issue for us.
Tribulation Prepper says, actually, there are some small businesses who have priced their gasoline and food menu items in junk silver.
Nice. Is that in Arkansas or is that in Missouri, Trib?
Oh, that'd be good to know.
Grow your own food, says Jay Royal, and barter is what we'll have to do. Yep, everyone should be growing their own food as much as possible.
The guy in the podium in government is like, it's like he's sitting on the edge of a cliff, and I actually posted a meme up here in the chat, too, that was pretty good with it. It's a guy sitting on a cliff. Oh, actually, I don't think I did post that one. On the podium, and then a bunch of people, all they have to do is step off the board that the guy on the podium is sitting on. The whole thing falls over the cliff.
Matt Perry says, when driving from Oregon to Missouri, I bought gas with the Nevada Goldback. Huh. I'm sorry, what's that, Rebel?
Sorry, work radio went off.
Okay, gotcha, no problem. Okay. All right, gang. Well, I'll tell you what then. We haven't had any new questions come in. And I'm going to go ahead and shut it down for tonight. I promise you.
Hey,
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm not trying to hold you off or anything, but I got something I was wanting to say. I was just,
you go for
so
it.
many people, and Okay. We all know that Senator Schatz is running for the United States Senate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, we also know that we got a bunch of law enforcement officers in Southeast Missouri that want to take away the enforcement mechanism out of SEPA, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Now, hang on. Schatz has been announcing his candidacy on Twitter and Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Let me pull this up real quick. Okay, I'd asked him about, what he wants to do about SEPA, or what's his thoughts on SEPA, and he was telling me, or what he did about getting SEPA passed, and he said, "Listen to this." He said, "I brought all parties together in the room and got a version that even our LEOs supported. That's law enforcement officers." Whipped votes in support and got it passed, was proud to vote in favor and get the job done for Missouri. So basically, he's saying here, he's taking credit. He's saying he got all law enforcement officers to go along with what was in SEPA. And he said he whipped votes, which doesn't make sense because pretty much everybody is voting for it anyways.
Yep.
So that kind of don't make sense. And so what I did, the next question I asked him was, we got law enforcement officers in Southeast Missouri that want to take the enforcement mechanism out of SEPA. What are your thoughts on that, and what are you going to do? And I also gave him the 60 Minutes video. I also tagged that on there, so you use that for reference. And he hasn't come back with an answer. He calls himself a straight shooter, but he hasn't answered that. And every time he's posted something on Twitter, I kept bringing that up. I keep posting that, asking him the same question. I did the same thing on Facebook, and he hasn't answered yet. So he obviously doesn't want to, or he's trying to think of how he's going to handle that. But here's the thing, man. Look, he's running. Not only is he running for United States Senate, he's still going to be in the Senate. I don't know if he'll still be. What was he?
Pro
President
tem.
Pro tem? Yeah.
He will still be pro tem.
Okay. Well, look. Here you go. We were trying to figure out how we're going to stop this encroachment on SEPA. He's handing it to us on a silver platter.
Yep.
This guy's running for office, and
Correct.
he's still going to be in Senate. I already got him, and I screenshot all this stuff too. He said he got all the law enforcement officers to support it, and he whipped the votes in support of it and everything, was proud to vote in favor of it and get the job done for Missouri. We need to just blow his office out with phone calls and emails and ask him what he's going to do about this.
Yep.
And when you send him an email, go on YouTube to 60 Minutes to a thing they did and attach that. So that way he can see it. Ask him what he's going to do about it. Because this guy's trying to run for office, and he said he's pro 2A. So we got this dude. He's our ticket.
Yep. Actually, there's several others like that too, because Rowden, he is running for office.
Yeah, right.
Yep, he's running for office too, and
I thought he'd back out.
he might have backed out. Because I'm not 100% sure yet, but the next year is going to be an interesting year with a lot of people running for higher office. That gives us tremendous opportunities to get some good work done.
But Schatz, I've got him on here. Like I said, I screenshotted this too. So if he takes it down, too late. I already have it. But he's saying right here, I'm reading it off his Twitter after I asked him about SEPA, and he said, "I brought all the parties together in the room and got a version that even our law enforcement officers supported." He was the man. And now you got all these law enforcement officers in Southeast Missouri, and you had Channel 12 down there, that reporter, and you got 60 Minutes coming in on this. Oh, Mr. Schatz, come and save SEPA.
Yep. Well,
I'm telling you, man, this is the guy we need to lean on.
Yep.
Because I'm telling you right now, he hasn't answered me because he's trying to figure out how to handle this.
Mm-hmm. Well,
he's probably hoping nobody know about it.
Yeah, he went and lapped up all the praise as soon as it passed the Senate. With 5 minutes after it passed the Senate, he and Rodent lined up for a press conference, and they kind of took all the credit for passing SEPA. You know, never mind the grassroots. Go ahead.
Rodent's been smart enough to keep his mouth shut.
Yeah, well, that's
he's pulled some stuff too. I mean,
has he? Well,
yeah.
We've got Schatz here. We've got him right where we want him. We need to take advantage of this.
Sure. We will.
Go on the offensive. Start calling his office. Start emailing. Like I said, go on Twitter or YouTube. Type in search 60 minutes SEPA, and then when you send him an email, attach that. That way he can see it, and ask him what he stands on that, and what he's gonna do. Because I've been following him all over Twitter and Facebook. He won't answer me.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to run. You know, all of us are gonna have to throw a net, and hopefully one of us catch him.
Yep.
We got to force his hand, man.
Okay.
Yeah, it's funny. Some of these politicians, there's some ones in there that have a brain and they're halfway decent, and then you got the ones like what is it, crab cakes and rodent.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's right.
Which I actually called him crab cakes on Twitter.
Did you?
Yeah. Anyway, I called him out on the whole thing about he pulled that same spiel he was talking about, but he posted on Twitter. I said, so you did this. You let's see, you blockaded the anti-COVID tyranny bill for your gas tax. Then you almost held up SEPA for your gas tax. Then you passed the gas tax, and then he was going on and just said, this is what you actually did. So it's something I forget. Wasn't that I proceeded to call them crab cakes?
Yep, good deal. Yeah. Well, they know where that comes from. And he's talking about Senator Huff, by the way, who we lovingly call Senator Crab Cakes. There's a long story behind that, but you have to go back to that.
I thought it was Schatz that was crab cakes.
Nope, it's Huff. It's Huff. And Truth, Money, and Freedom back in March. Go to the Truth, Money, and Freedom podcast on YouTube back in March, and there'll probably be a video titled something about what is Senator Huff doing, and you'll find out what crab cakes was all about. You kind of have to watch the video to really appreciate it. It was a live stream.
Yeah.
We lit up his phone, man. His voicemail filled up, and we were able to get him to move SEPA out of committee. That's correct.
I was going to follow up. Matt Perry on YouTube said, will Missouri Liberty Alliance post endorsed candidates for the next election cycle or something like that?
No. That's a good question, and I've been asked that quite a bit. We're not about actually endorsing any candidates. What we're doing what we want to do is make sure that people who are not viable for office are pointed out. Mm-hmm. So that we will do. We'll do a process of elimination. And if there's 3 good or 2 good candidates left, we'll leave it up to the person, what they want to do. We just want to make sure that those who are running for office are going to leave SEPA intact. That's going to be one of the questions on our survey. We'll have a lot of other questions too, but basically SEPA's become kind of like the benchmark now for the Second Amendment as far as we're concerned. So basically it's not even do you agree with the Second Amendment, it is do you agree with Missouri's SEPA law? Will you uphold Missouri's SEPA law?
Nobody here in Missouri should be considered pro 2A if they don't support SEPA with the enforcement mechanism.
I agree.
They need to be held to that. We need to get an answer out of all of them.
Yep, we will.
That are running.
Surveys will be going out.
We definitely need to put the thumb screws on Schatz.
Yep.
All right. He done talk the talk, man. We got to make him walk the walk.
Yep.
Oh,
and also no more of that NRA crap either, because those guys don't work either.
Yeah, no.
Only guns
rights
or
away.
target shooting or belonging to the NRA is not pro 2A.
Yep.
Negotiating rights away.
You can have guns. You can have guns in communist countries. Okay, that doesn't mean you're pro 2A.
Yeah.
All right. If they don't support SEPA with an enforcement mechanism and try to defend it against anybody who tries to take anything away from it, they're not pro 2A. We need to make that the new standard. We need to put all of them. Need to hold all of them to that standard.
I agree.
I got 3 little things here.
Okay.
1, these crooked politicians that we know are crooked, the only way around them is practically to blackmail them publicly. Mm-hmm. Secondly, Not only do they just support SAPA, but do they also support knocking off the NFA items in Missouri law? Know what I mean?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I forgot the third one. Oh well, not a big one.
You had a good start there. I mean,
Oh yeah, I did.
And
Yeah, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
yeah. Well, it was actually 2 out of 2 as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
There was
There
a
you go.
potential
That's
for
even
3.
100,
I
baby.
think the third one was just funny. It wasn't a point.
Yep. And basically, Voodoo Queen said long bathroom breaks. Voodoo, you remember. That's awesome. We had a good time on that live stream. Matt Perry says, so you'll provide a list of non-recommended candidates. Pretty much.
Oh.
That's what we'll do. Those who do not answer our survey correctly, or, basically to our satisfaction, we will literally let you know how they answered. So that is correct. We're not going to be endorsing any candidates for office, but if there's only one viable candidate left, then the choice is pretty obvious. If there's 2, then obviously, you have a choice to make. So let's see. Do your own diligence when it comes to voting. Rabbit Coyote, couldn't agree with you more. Thank you for that. Rabbit also says Gun Owners of America, not the NRA. Correct. The NRA was not. Okay. How do I say this without making people angry? I'm just going to say it like this. The NRA was not helpful to getting SAPA passed in the state of Missouri. How's that, guys?
Yep.
So
they also supported the National Firearms Act in 1934, and they negotiate every one of your rights away.
Yeah. So I used to be a member of the NRA, and my membership has lapsed. I used to buy 5-year memberships at a time. And
why can't we have candidates that demand our rights back instead of only saying that they'll negotiate away or try to hold them at what we have? Why can't we demand more of our rights back? We need more candidates that want to push back and get more of our stuff back. Because
I'll tell you what we need is a very active citizen grassroots to actually demand that of the politicians. Because
I think you're gonna get it this next cycle.
I think we are too.
I think we need to twist Shat's arm and make him one, whether he wants to or not.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Patrick, can you formulate a survey for the judges as well? You're going to have to word it differently because there's never enough information on judges, and we can figure out if they support our rights or not.
Yep, absolutely. I'm making one for politicians, which is 2 pages long, one for judges, that will actually be 514 pages long. It's very wordy. It's got a lot of very complicated words in it. It references a whole bunch of other surveys from the past that they'll have to reference in order to, understand, the question I'm asking them for in that particular paragraph. But not only that, I think it greatly actually enhances our opinions of what judges can do if we hand them a survey that's 514 pages long. By the way, that was a joke. We're not making one that's 514 pages long for judges. Anyone who's running for office that we're aware of, whether it's judge, whether it's representative, whether it's school board member, we'll all get the same survey. So we're going to talk about CRT in the survey. Whether it be called by another name. Isn't it Shakespeare who said, a rose by any other name would smell just as sweet? So CRT, that's the game they play with CRT. They keep calling it different things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even like calling it CRT at this point. I like calling it critical race applied practices because they're not teaching it. They're applying their practices they were taught.
Yes, they are.
I see it. When I was in school, I saw it everywhere. And not like everywhere. It was in the books, like from Pearson's and stuff, the online reading, when that really started with the end of COVID. That's when they pushed it, was through the online stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
No books means that they can update it rapidly. They can update it.
It's like you guys should all check out The Obsolete Man on the Twilight Zone. That basically sums it up. And you're right, Last Sponge, because when I was doing some college online, they had that same Pearson thing too. So that seems like they're rolling that out for everything. What do you think of that Pearson Last Sponge? What are your thoughts on that?
So my opinion on it is that, well, I think it's really just a re-education tool because the teachers in my county, or at least the ones that I had, they were good teachers. They were teaching some of our students, but I don't really know how to put it. I don't have good feelings about it, and I don't want to put my words out there because I'm trying to suppress how I feel about it really badly.
Yep. Sheriffs will get it too, Voodoo. Everyone will have to, that's running for office that we're aware of, that we get an email address for, will get the survey. So, and then we will be reporting on those surveys, and we'll have our naughty and nice list up, I think, first of the year. So that will be those who are oath breakers and oath keepers, as far as we know at that time. And whenever there's new data, we'll update the website. And that, by the way, the website has been a little bit dormant. There's lots of different reasons for that. Once again, part of it is because I'm being sued. The other part of it is because our web guy, and I didn't want to say anything, but his mother passed away after she got the second shot. And that's all I'm going to say. And I'm giving him some time right now. He needs some time. And then we'll get back to the website. So, but let's see if we have any other questions. No other questions at this time. Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for tonight. We're at an hour and a half, and we will be in Discord, or at least I'll be on Discord for about another half an hour. And so you guys are welcome to jump in the Discord and talk with us live if you want. I want to thank you all for joining us tonight. We will have another live stream next Sunday night, and I will get more advance notice out. Sorry, guys, I've been kind of busy. But once again, Matt Perry joined us tonight, and I want to extend again our deepest sympathies for the loss of your wife. And she was a friend of ours, and we very much appreciated her whenever she came into our live streams. And we were very, very happy when you guys moved to Missouri. So, Matt, we're really, really sorry, man. God bless you. Okay, and thank you all for joining us tonight. And thank you guys in the live stream and YouTube. And, of course, thank you guys for coming into Discord to share in the conversation. Once again, it's a better conversation when we have more participants. So you guys have made it extra special. So thank you for coming in and talking tonight.
Remember, follow Schatz on Twitter and Facebook, and keep asking him what he's going to do about those Southeast law enforcement officers that want to take the enforcement mechanism out of SEPA.
I think that will be a subject line for the next Sunday night podcast, and we'll give everyone information and tools they need to get that done. So let's go after Schatz. So, yep. And in fact, he's president of the Senate. He's, Senate pro tem. You're right. That's something we need to pursue. So thank you for getting that started, Casey Rich.
No problem.
Okay. All right. Well, you guys, once again, thanks for joining. And be sure and check for next Sunday. We'll be doing another live stream. We're going to try and make this very regular from this point on Sunday nights, unless I'm traveling. And if I'm traveling, we'll postpone it and do it, either right before or right after I get back. Okay, you guys, once again, thank you for joining. May God bless each and every one of you. And thanks again for being with us tonight. Take care, gang.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Adios.